Okay, so we're
Okay.
here. Welcome, welcome, everybody. We're here to celebrate Steve Hastings and his book, The ROSIE Chronicles, the tale of a journey to undo a great mischief. Many people dream and aspire to write a book, but few do. Steve Hastings is imaginative, creative, and his book is fun. We welcome Steve Hastings, a member of Stitch and event host in Australia. And I'll turn it over to you.
Thank you very much, Wendy. Thank you everyone for giving up their time this evening in the States. And I'm just thinking, is there anyone in from Australia at the moment? Nope, that's okay. No, well, thank you. As you know, as has been said 1,000 times, everyone's got a book in them. Everyone on the planet has a book in them. The genesis of this book about the antics of several animals goes back probably about 10 or 11 years. Rosie passed away in 2012, and yeah, she was that special pet that everyone has if they're lucky to have at least once in their life. Sometimes people have several of them, and there was that special bond. And as I said in the book, yeah, I grieved very heavily when she went, and as the years went by, I would have these little someone whispering in my ear saying, "Write the book, write the book, write the book," and then various life events put things off, and then there was a marriage separation this year, and so with various life separation life things, sometimes it all crystallizes into, yes, I have to write the book. And as I say in the book, Rosie from wherever she rests these days, gave a final push, a final kick in the head when I was literally 6 months ago driving back into Melbourne from out in the suburbs from a country town, and by the side of the freeway was a car with a license plate. I'm not sure what you call them. License plate, registration plate. What do you call them? Yeah, on the back. And it was RO5IE. And it was broken down by the side of the car, this little full-on little vehicle. And it just hit me like a rock. And no one in the car. And I looked back in the mirror, it was real. And I went past it. And I just said, that's it. So within a few days, I was started to write it. For those who haven't read the book, it is simply 100 pages of silliness about that secret world that I think animals inhabit between themselves, around between the times that humans interact with them. Things they get up to at nighttime or out in the backyard when the humans are out, whatever it might be. But it started off as a series of storylines. It was going to be a compendium, if you like, a collection of short stories. Um, but then I started to link it together into, if you like, a test, a journey, a mission for two young dogs under the direction of one older dog called Rosie, trying to, as it says, undo a great mischief. And that mischief is the fact that dogs could once talk to humans backwards and forwards, but something happened in the past to stop them talking to humans, and it was a magician's spell, and how these dogs go about reversing that. Coming across a range of characters, including, yes, one real cat that did live, passed away about 15 years ago, called Tess, and she was very bad tempered, and she was a pain in the butt. She really was, but she was again another beloved member of the household. The rabbits that we speak of are real. There was a Bonnie and a Bambi, and yes, Bonnie was bad tempered and Bambi was the gentle one. And so as the kids grow and animals come in and out of your life, for some reason, for me, it was always stayed with me that there must be something these guys get up to. They're far smarter than we know, probably far smarter than humans. And when it comes to dogs and perhaps with cats, I always think they were put on the planet to be put on the planet by God to keep us in charge, keep us in line, if you like, to help us be better people. Because when we're around pets, we are better. We are better as humans. And so I mapped it out. As a series of as I say, what were originally separate stories. Pushed there's some material which I didn't include because it wasn't consistent with the storyline, but I started with some subject headings, some chapter headings as to what could be a storyline to hit to approach the quest that Rosie was in charge of. And there are some side characters like Rex, which is Rosie's beloved, and Rex, yes, was a neighbor's dog, and the children that you see in that, the children in the book are two of them are actually named. So Wesley and Ellery are two of my grandchildren, and the other one, Katie, is a pseudonym for another grandchild, and the other adults in there are all real people. Of course, I don't put the surnames, that sort of stuff. And so yeah, there is writing time was about 3 months. It helped me get through. It was central to keeping me sane, as I'm saying, over a period of a separation, keeping me sane. Where some of the storylines came from, I don't know. I've read hundreds and hundreds of books over my life, and I sincerely thank every author that I've learned from, whether that's classical literature or adventure stuff, whatever it might be. And it sort of flicks in location. It flicks between the United States. There's Russia. There's Australia. I don't think any other countries are mentioned or offended. Peoria, Illinois is mentioned because a dear friend was born there, and I just wanted to give him a laugh, something to laugh about. And some of the other major characters, like Mr. Wyson is obviously Mr. Dyson, the vacuum cleaner, the brilliant engineer who I admire greatly. J.K. Rowling is in there as the there's a reference there to it, like hidden buildings and all that sort of stuff. And Dr. Morrow, is Dr. Morrow, who is a dear school friend of mine who I continue to know some 50 years on, who is a brilliant veterinary surgeon whose specialty is is a worldwide specialist in chicken diseases, that sort of stuff. So he's in there as well. And if I've mocked Vladimir Putin in Russia, then that was very deliberate. And there's material there for further character development. So there will be further books in 2024, a further book or two in 2024, where, as I mentioned, the pain in the butt Tess, who softens towards the end of the story and bonds slightly with Rosie, she'll have a chance for further for redemption. That's probably good, I guess, an overview, Wendy, or total confusion for anyone listening. Does anyone want to jump in with any questions? Well, should I talk about the publishing side of things, which is probably the
Sure,
main thing?
sure.
Yeah.
We
So
want to know about publishing with Amazon. We want to know how long you wrote every day. I know you're a copywriter, and you've
yeah.
done that for years. And so,
Okay. Okay.
yeah,
Okay. All right. So yeah, in terms of background, I'm a scientist by background, but never one that was good enough to really earn a living out of it. So I qualified as a biochemist, but I've been running a technical writing, copywriting business for about 30 years. So I write a lot of for over 100 clients myself, and some of my team that I used to have served over 100 clients over a period of time in several countries. So I'm well experienced in getting a storyline together on technical subjects. So maybe that, I don't know whether that helped on the creative side of things. Um, all I could say, or all I could recommend is just let your imagination go. Just get a piece of paper. If there's something in your mind, just don't get too formal. Don't do it on a computer. Get a piece of paper and write down, I want to write about this and the subject, and maybe 5, 6 subject lines under that, which become the chapters. And that's a real amateur's way of how I started. It's how I write. Each day I'd address a certain chapter and make sure it was consistent with the other ones. There's some fact checking and all that sort of stuff. It's not an overly complex book. Yeah, there is a place in Russia, the mountain range that I mentioned there, which is real. So I guess what I'm trying to say is the brick wall that is writing, for so many people. Just take it slow. I'm looking out the window at a brick wall at the moment. Let's start off literally at that one piece of paper, sketching out some storyline ideas, and that's all that they are, storyline ideas. And you can create it as a collection of short stories, or as a linked plot, as I did with Rosie. Albeit some of the next ones will just be individual stories, adventures from some of the characters. And what I would write, some of it would be written in the car down by the beach. I used Google Docs to describe the whole thing, only because you don't have to concentrate so much with Google Docs as you do with Word. Notwithstanding, I know the authoring tool that you use, the writing tool, is not really very important. Write it on a piece of paper if you like. Write it on a notepad. I found that 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning is a great time to get some storyline ideas out. I would wake up and there would be 2 or 3 key things I wanted to put down, which would form the basis for the next storyline, or how I would link one chapter to another. Yep, the start is always the hardest part, but once you get that first chapter in place, it starts to become easier to find from your storyline, pick something else it will link to. With the Rosie Chronicles, I changed the order of the first 5 chapters. It did have a different order, but it didn't link properly. So I wanted to build the story as a quest, and a mission, something that Rosie had to complete. Which at the end of, she's done her job and she can go back. She can go back to heaven with her beloved. Yeah, there are little references in there to Walt Disney as well, that sort of thing, because I think I was 8 years old when Walt Disney passed, and to me it was like the end of time when you're 8 and what you hear that Walt Disney's dead. You don't really know what death is. You think, you thought that would be the end of the Disney empire. It certainly wasn't. So yeah, beloved people like Walt Disney for their storytelling power. And yeah, I referenced several others in there, either literally or little hints. hence going through publishing. A friend of mine, dear business colleague in Indianapolis, yes, who was born in Peoria, Illinois, was telling me all about Amazon Publishing Limited. And to this day, I don't know whether Amazon Publishing Limited is fully owned by Amazon or not, but it provides an opportunity to work with, to put some money up. It's not free. If to get a quote for their services, and that can include co-writing the book with you, which I didn't need, but I did need illustration help. So the illustrations, which are extremely slow to do, but which are coming through, about half of them have been done, will form the basis for the illustrated version of the ROSIE Chronicles. So yeah, you can pay for an illustration package, and as you'd expect, being the mighty Amazon, you can pay for marketing on the Amazon platform, which I did. Placement on the Amazon platform. You can pay for marketing. They will market to people like Barnes and Noble, that sort of thing. And so the book will go out as a Barnes and Noble book, as a co-production between Barnes and Noble and Amazon. Am I totally happy with Amazon Publishing Limited? Probably not. Probably not. Because everything that you go to talk to them about, what started off as about $1,500, it was $1,600 US. Their marketing people explained, we'll get you this, and this. Rapidly became well, if you want more illustrations, it's going to be a certain amount. If you want us to promote it across different platforms, it's going to be more. Things that you thought were in your basic package, there was always a call for another $500, another $1,000. So, sorry, excuse me. But what they were good with was, I was very happy with their cover design. That's 100% theirs. Yep, their cover design and the back and that sort of stuff. Their layout was great. What did I give them? I gave them access to the Google Doc, but also a PDF. You can give them, being Amazon, they have the power to use any authoring tool that you want to give them. So you can give them Word docs, whatever it might be. I got the feeling that they outsourced a lot of the exercises, things like text layout, that sort of stuff. They would have to keep going back and saying, hey, you've missed a paragraph break here and all that sort of stuff. Whilst I gave them a perfectly set up PDF, by the time they put it into the format that you've seen there, they got it 96% right, but every time they touch something, they'd mess up something else. So they do not have the skills of an in-house publishing company. They are not Schuster and Sons or Penguin or anything like that. So yeah, I guess I'm about 60% happy with the service. As I say, getting the illustrations, I'm still waiting on several illustrations for each chapter. But after the Christmas break, I'll be back in touch there. But yeah, certainly happy with the cover quality, and the beauty of and the layout. The beauty of Amazon. The reason I went with them is basically from that, the ability to just do two things. People can order just one or two copies, and of course, it would just be printed off, and they'd probably lose money on that. But you can go onto Amazon and order just one copy, and pay your postage or your freight, whatever it might be, on top of that. And they'll just print one copy. They don't stock. There are no stocks of this. As an author, I can get I can get any number of author copies at about a third of what you see as retail, and I can sell those direct if I wish to a bookshop or friends and family, that type of thing. So I've got about 20 author copies at any time just sitting here ready to go somewhere. So this on-demand printing is probably the most powerful part of the relationship. So anyone's looking at Amazon Publishing Limited, I would say just go the basics of getting the, if you don't have an illustration yourself, get them to wrap it up. Sorry, am I seeing? Right. So, yep. Get them to do the basic layout, the cover design. They will register it with National Library of Congress. Yeah, National Library of Congress. So it goes as a copyright. The copyright's something that they take care of. They will issue an ISBN and the barcode stuff on the back. And that would probably cost you about $1,600 if you went that way. And that will give you something that you can get. They will place on their platform, the Amazon platform, and people can order. You can order as an author. And it's flicking through it now. As I say, it's not something that's come from, for example, a Penguin book or anything like that, or Schuster's. But it's fair. It's fairly good quality print. The big plus is, you can just order what you want. 1s, 2s, 20, 900. And of course, the way it works is if you're in Australia or the UK, they'll get a UK printer. They'll get an Australian printer just to run off those several copies. So, so if you've got friends outside the States, you don't have to. They don't have to pay $20 or $30 in air freight, that type of thing. So, Publishing Limited, I probably spent too much with them. Sorry, with Amazon. But we'll see what they deliver over the next month or two. If you were to spend everything that they wanted you to spend to get it right through to distribution to Barnes and Noble and everyone else out there, you would be looking at about $10,000. $10,000, and that's a lot of books to sell to get back, but to get the money back. But I would say, just take the basic package, and that gives you something to walk to, a small, medium-sized publishing company and say, hey, this is what I did. Can we talk? And it's something that's attractive. They can read through quickly, and then form a relationship with a small or medium-sized publishing company who take on a lot of that costs themselves. But I guess, you lose the ability to have those small print runs. So, Wendy, it was a mixed relationship so far. My plans are for next year to contact, now that I've got this, to contact one of the Australian publishing groups, and work it from there. Yeah.
Well, your book is really fun and imaginative, and I'm very impressed with your writing. It was really a fun adventure to read.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And I know you've read thousands of them. Only a small amount is on your back shelf there, on your bookcase. It's, for me, as I say, it was a cathartic exercise. It helped a lot of pain out of the system, but it just takes you off into, it's like reading a book. It just takes you off into your own world. And so, and I am exactly the same as you all. It's I hadn't written a fiction book or released a fiction book before for general reading. As I say, lots of technical stuff, but whether anyone outside you, I guess you got to decide on market too. Is it something just for family and friends, which is how this started, or is it something for wider distribution? If it's something for family and friends, just take, for example, Amazon's Amazon Publishing Limited's base level package, write it up. You can update it whenever you like. That's one of the other beauties of Amazon. You can change the text anytime you like. And, if you get from there, you can order 20 or 30 for family and friends, or have them order it, whatever. But yeah, if it's for big time stuff, if you really want something to get to the world, yeah, it's going back through a real publishing company. But to do that, yeah, you've got something to show them. And so that's why I think the exercise with Amazon was worthwhile. Did I spend too much? Yep. So as I say, anyone in the future, if I was doing it again, I'd just go the base package of about $1,500, $1,600. Yeah, and from their point, they don't make any promises. They know, they explain very carefully that 99.9% of even what goes up on Amazon will not get will have minimal sales and all that sort of stuff, unless you promote it through your own website, or pay them to promote it. And that's a decision I can make next year, in 2024 as well. So no, please. And that's the pretty well the extent of my knowledge of writing. It's Wendy. It's happy to hear any questions and that sort of stuff. Thank you for listening so far.
We're so happy to have you here, and we celebrate your talent. Very imaginative and fun story, and we look forward to the next book. So anybody have any questions here?
It will live on.
So I know Shirley read the book, right?
I did.
Shirley has, yeah.
In bits and pieces, I'm afraid, but yes, I did. And I actually reviewed a little bit of it this week because I knew the Zoom was coming up, and I thought, well, I'd like to touch base mentally on the things I read, the characters that are in the book that are very, very well described, and you smell them. You can sense how they feel when they eat. And you can understand their tidiness. Unlike Steve, I'm prone to like cats. I do like dogs, but I like cats, and I've been around many dogs in my lifetime. But if I were to write a book, I'm afraid it would have to be about cats, Steve. They are much more imaginative.
Absolutely. And you could flip the story entirely and have cats as the good guys and an evil dog in the backyard, whatever it might be. Absolutely. It's whatever you touches your heart.
I do want to share something with you, because it's not all about Shirley, and it's not all about her cat, but it's about her many cats and her many dogs. So you would see a blue heeler in my book. You would see a great husky in my book, and you would have to definitely see a tortoiseshell cat. But I can create some pretty ornery animals and some pretty much fun in life.
Yeah, and
I do look forward to your next book. I also would like to understand, as you get to a point where the book is illustrated and those are for sale, that you reach out and let us know that, because I do want
Shirley.
3 copies of a finished manuscript.
Thank you, Shirley.
And I'm not opposed to buying them from you directly. Does not bother me in the least, but just whichever way is best for you.
Thank you. And you preferred to wait for the illustrated one, was that right?
I would, yes, I would.
Yeah. And a number of people
are saying
I
have a 100-page book in my hand.
You really did print that off. Oh, wow.
Yes,
wow.
I did. I took it with me to Seattle 7 times in a row. It was my night reading.
Oh, wow. Well, I'm honored, and you and I will talk some more about that offline.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's been too long waiting for the illustrated version. But yeah, I think they've got about four more pictures to go. So it's
Okay,
yeah. So it won't be 100 pages of silliness. It will be 110 pages of silliness. There you go. There you go.
that's okay.
All right. And thank you, Shirley.
I can't wait to see what happens because you really are an imaginative writer. Very creative, a fun adventure to read. So
Thank you. So, someone said I was smoking something when I was running. Could have
no,
been the case.
I
Could have been the case.
very imaginative, very imaginative. So I can't wait to
Thank
read
you.
the next one. So anyone
Thank you.
else have any questions today? Well, thank you so much, all of you, for coming. I will stop the recording, and we so celebrate Steve Hastings and his book, The ROSIE Chronicles. We can't wait for the next one to come, and we'll host another event. Was there anything else you wanted
Thank
to
you.
say, Steve?
No, I think it was really just the publishing side of things. Yeah, I wouldn't want to see that break anyone's heart because it got expensive and I had to draw a line under it with Amazon. But so Amazon is good, but yeah, just go for their basic package if you go their direction. Their basic package, yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, everyone. Really
Thank you so
appreciate
much
it.
for sharing. Thank you so much for sharing.
Thank you.
We really
Thank
appreciate
you.
it.
Pleasure.